Your attitude in tough times will determine the strength of your future. Choose positivity, even when it's hard. When life gets tough, the toughest thing you can do is to keep going. The power to rise is in your hands. What if life feels like it's pushing you to your limits, and you don't know how to stay positive? What if every day feels harder than the last, and you're losing the energy to keep going? What if it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and you don't know how to get back up? We all face tough times. It's part of life. But what if I told you that staying positive in those moments doesn't have to be impossible? What if you could find a way to hold on, to push through, even when everything inside of you is telling you to give up? Staying positive when life gets tough isn't just about thinking happy thoughts. It's about making choices, taking action, and digging deep within yourself to find strength you didn't know you had. If you're ready to push through, find strength, and stay positive no matter how tough things get, then now let's dive in. Number 1, take control by focusing only on what matters now. When life gets heavy, when the days feel longer than they should, and your energy feels drained before the sun is even up, it's easy to feel like you're losing ground. I understand. Every one of us has faced moments when everything seems to come down at once. The truth is, life doesn't wait until you're ready, it moves. And you have to move with it. That's where your power lives, in your ability to take control, not of everything, but of what matters now. When your world feels like it's spinning too fast, the first step is to slow it down in your mind. You don't have to solve every problem today. You don't have to climb every mountain before sunset. What you do need to do is decide right now what is important. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Right now, focus is power, and scattered focus is weakness. You can't afford to pour your energy into everything, especially when you feel overwhelmed. Energy is limited, time is limited, your emotional strength is limited. So when life gets tough, you must start trimming what doesn't matter. Ask yourself, what is taking my attention that doesn't deserve it? What am I stressing about that I cannot change today? You've got to be ruthless about your priorities. Not because you're cold or careless, but because your peace and your focus are too valuable to waste. People often ask, how do I stay positive when everything feels negative? And my answer is always this: you stay positive by giving your energy only to what you can influence. That's it. The rest, you acknowledge it. You accept that it exists, but you don't let it live rent-free in your mind. You see, when you give attention to things that are out of your control, you feed anxiety, you feed helplessness, and those feelings grow stronger. But when you focus only on what matters now, what's real, what's present, what you can do, your power returns. You begin to feel grounded again. You begin to feel capable again. You begin to breathe again. Now here's the thing. Most people don't know how to sort out what matters from what doesn't. So let me help you do that. Start by asking yourself, is this thing I'm worrying about within my control today? If the answer is no, then it's not your responsibility right now. If the answer is yes, then ask yourself, what's one small action I can take to improve this, just for today? You don't need a grand plan. You don't need to fix your whole life in 1 week. You need progress, not perfection. You need to be present. You need to move forward, even if the steps are small. Every morning when you wake up, your mind will start to drift into fear, into doubt, into the past or the future. You have to pull it back. You have to train your mind like you would train a muscle. And you do that by focusing only on what's in front of you. One conversation, one choice, 1 hour. That's where your life is built, in the now. Staying positive is not about pretending things are good when they're not. It's about deciding where your focus will live. Will it live in the past that you can't change? Will it live in a future that hasn't happened yet? Or will it live in the task in front of you? The people you love, the decisions you make today. Here's a truth that changed my life. The more you focus on what matters now, the quieter the noise becomes. The panic fades. The fear shrinks. Not because the problems disappear, but because you are no longer feeding them. You are feeding strength instead. You are feeding clarity. You are feeding discipline. You are building emotional endurance. Now I want you to understand something very clearly. You are not powerless just because life is hard. You are not weak just because you feel pain. Pain doesn't make you fragile. It means you're human. And that pain will pass. But the decisions you make today, even in pain, those can last. They shape the next chapter of your life. So choose well. You must stop giving power to every thought that enters your mind. Not every thought deserves your trust. Not every fear deserves your time. You must challenge them. You must interrupt them with focus, with intention, with clarity. That's how you stay positive when life gets tough. You don't run from the pain. You don't bury it, but you don't give it your full attention either. You turn toward what matters now. What matters now might be as simple as calling someone who cares. It might be writing down your thoughts, so they don't stay stuck in your head. It might be taking care of your health, moving your body, eating something real, drinking some water. It might be taking 5 minutes to breathe. Don't overlook the small things. They add up. They anchor you. They rebuild your sense of control. I've seen people fall apart from stress, not because they were weak, but because they tried to carry everything at once. You are not built to carry the whole world. You are built to take one step, and then another. That's how humans survive the hard seasons. That's how they grow. You're not meant to be perfect. You're meant to be present, to be consistent, to be deliberate. Some days you will feel tired. Some days the weight will feel like too much. And that's okay. Rest. But don't give up your focus. Don't let your emotions make your decisions. Emotions pass. But discipline, focus and action, those build character. So ask yourself every morning, what matters right now? What can I do today that will move me, even a little, toward strength, toward peace, toward stability? Then go do that. Ignore the rest. The world will always have noise. People will always have opinions. Life will always throw surprises. But your response, that is yours to shape. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to post about your struggle or your success. You just need to live today with focus, with purpose, with attention on what is in your hands. Not what's on the news. Not what might happen next year. What is in your hands right now. Because if you focus on what matters now, you will not only survive the hard times, you will become wiser, stronger, calmer, and more clear than ever before. That's what hard seasons do for people who keep showing up. They strip away the noise. They remove the distractions. They bring your attention back to what's real, what's here, what's true. So don't waste your strength on what you can't control. Use it to build what you can. Decide what matters today, and give it your full presence. Nothing more, nothing less. And if you do that day after day, one day you'll look back and see, you didn't just survive, you grew, you changed, you became something more.
Number 2, stand up and write down what you still have. When everything starts to fall apart, when life strips away the things you counted on, the mind begins to sink. You begin to focus on everything that's gone. The job you lost, the opportunity that slipped, the person who walked away, the comfort that once made you feel safe. It's natural. But here's what I've learned. If you only count what's missing, you will lose sight of what remains. And if you lose sight of what remains, you'll lose the strength to rebuild. When the pain is real and the loss is deep, the first thing you must do is stand up. Not because you feel ready, but because staying down will take more from you than standing up ever will. Stand up in your living room. Stand up by your bed. Stand up in silence if you have to. Just rise. That single act tells your mind you are still in this, that you haven't given up, that you're not done yet. Now the next thing, grab a piece of paper, or open a page, or write it on your wall if you have to. Start writing, not what you've lost, not what you've missed. Write down what you still have. Look around, what's still here, what's still yours, what still lives inside you. That exercise, it's more than words. It's a reminder that your life is more than what left. You still have your ability to think. You still have your breath.
You still have the people who care, even if it's just one. You still have your experiences. You still have your will. You still have your hands, your eyes, your ability to choose. Even if the choices feel small, you still have time. You still have this day. And if you still have one good thing, you can build on it. This is not about being blindly optimistic. This is not about pretending everything's fine. This is about being clear, grounded, honest, and practical. When your mind is drowning in what's gone, writing down what remains is how you find oxygen again. It is the first real breath after a storm. You've got to see it with your own eyes. On paper, right in front of you. Because in the dark, the mind forgets. But paper reminds. The moment you write it, you begin to shift from helpless to hopeful. You don't need 100 things. You need awareness of 1, then 2, then 3. That's how the heart starts to rebuild its strength. It doesn't happen through noise. It happens through quiet, deliberate attention to what's real and still here. You can still love. You can still learn. You can still speak. You can still change. You can still plan. You can still recover. You can still become more than what happened to you. Those are not small things. They are the beginning of a new foundation. And make this clear to yourself. Writing it down is not a soft act. It's not just reflection. It's resistance. It's a refusal to let the pain be louder than your truth. It's choosing to focus your mind when everything wants to pull it apart. It's discipline. And discipline in hard times is how people find their power again. Most people don't realize how much strength they have because they never stop to count it. They measure their worth by what they've lost instead of what they still carry. But strength is not in what's missing. It's in what survives the worst days. And you carry more than you think. Maybe you've been hurt. Maybe you've been betrayed. Maybe life took you in a direction you never asked for. But the fact that you are still standing means there is something inside you that didn't break. That's worth writing down. That's worth acknowledging. Think of the challenges you've faced. The nights you didn't sleep. The days you showed up when no one saw you. The choices you made when it would have been easier to give up. Those moments left something in you. That something is what's still here. That is your proof. Writing down what you still have builds clarity. It takes the fog out of your thinking. When your world feels chaotic, clarity is survival. You don't need to solve everything. You just need to see enough to move forward. A list of what's still yours becomes your compass. And don't just think it. Write it. The act of writing turns thoughts into decisions. You are choosing to value your strength. You are choosing to see what's left. You are choosing to turn your attention towards something solid. That's the beginning of emotional control. People spend so much time asking why things happened. But that question can wait. The real question is, what do I still have that I can use to rebuild? It might be something in your character. It might be someone in your life. It might be a lesson you learned that makes you smarter. Now, that's a tool. That's an asset. That goes on your list. This practice is not just for one hard day. It's something you can return to any time you feel lost. Because life will test you again. But if you've trained yourself to look for what's still here, you will never be fully shaken. You will adapt faster. You will act with purpose instead of panic. And it's not just what you physically have. It's what you've become. If the hard moments made you more patient, that's something you now have. If pain taught you to listen better, that's yours now. If a failure made you more humble or more determined, write that down. You are not the same person who walked into the storm. You've gained things. Name them. Sometimes what's left doesn't feel like much. But if you give it your full attention, it becomes more powerful than you imagined. A single strength, used well, can change the direction of your life. Even if it's just the strength to try again. You are not empty just because you feel tired. You are not broken just because you've lost something important. You are still here. And what's here is enough to take the next step. That's all you need. Not the whole plan. Not the full solution. Just the next step. And you can't take that step if you're only staring at what's missing. Write it down. Your health, your effort, your memory, your lessons, your values, your desire to grow. Those things are real. And they are enough. Every day the world will try to distract you with what you lack.
But your peace will grow when you redirect your focus to what you still hold. What's yours cannot be measured by numbers. It's measured by your spirit, your mindset, your resilience. Make this a habit. Stand up and face the day. Then write, quietly, honestly, no filters, just truth. You don't need an audience. This is not for show. This is your inner work. This is your rebuilding. One truth at a time, one asset at a time, one breath at a time. You are still here, and what's still here is where your strength begins.
Number 3. Speak out loud what you are grateful for today. When life becomes painful, when you're hit with stress, heartbreak, disappointment, or loss, it's very easy for the mind to fixate on everything that's wrong. That's when your emotional energy starts to slip away. That's when you begin to feel defeated. But if you want to rise again, if you want to bring even a little peace back into your system, you need to stop for a moment and speak one thing, just one, that you're truly grateful for today. And say it out loud, not in your head, not quietly in the back of your mind. Out loud, so your ears hear it, so your body hears it, so your environment hears you claim it. This is more than just thinking happy thoughts. This is a conscious act of controlling the direction of your emotional energy. Because when you speak out gratitude, you interrupt the cycle of anxiety. You disrupt the noise that tells you you have nothing left. You silence the lie that says everything is wrong. You introduce truth, real truth, that even in chaos there is something good, something meaningful, something still alive. You might say, "But I don't feel grateful." That's okay. You don't have to feel it first. Say it anyway. Gratitude is not a feeling that shows up. It's a decision you speak into your day. And when you say it out loud, you give it volume. You give it authority. You bring it from thought to reality. That's when it starts to affect your emotions. That's when it begins to change your mood. Speak it out loud. I'm grateful I woke up today. I'm grateful for clean water. I'm grateful I have one friend who cares. I'm grateful I have strength in my body. I'm grateful I'm learning, even through pain. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It has to be real. One honest thing. That's how you bring your focus back from despair. Every morning, your mind has a choice to make. Either it will go straight to everything that's missing, or you will direct it to what is present. And the fastest way to direct it is by speaking. The words you speak are not just sounds. They shape your perception. They influence what you notice. They guide where your attention flows. And your attention is everything. What you focus on grows stronger. Speak the good, even if it feels small, especially when it feels small. I've met people who had very little, but they had peace. And I've met people who had much, but lived in bitterness. The difference wasn't their situation. The difference was where they placed their voice. Some people speak frustration all day. Some people speak complaints without end, and that becomes their reality. But the few who choose to speak gratitude, they build an inner world that holds them up when the outside world falls down. When you speak what you're grateful for, you are reminding yourself that you are not empty. You are reminding your nervous system that safety still exists. You are training your emotions to look beyond fear. And over time, this becomes a way of thinking. Not automatic at first, but with repetition, it becomes natural. A person who can recognize the good even in hardship is a person who cannot be broken easily. The practice doesn't need to take long. You don't need a perfect moment or a quiet room. You can speak gratitude in the middle of stress. You can say it while walking, while cooking, while doing work. What matters is that you're vocalizing it, not just thinking it, speaking it. Your voice matters. What you say to yourself becomes your direction. And you need a direction that lifts you. There is science behind this too. Gratitude changes brain chemistry. It stimulates regions associated with happiness and emotional regulation. But more important than science is this: it works. Try it right now. Say one thing you are grateful for. You may feel a shift, a softening, a sense of grounding. That's your mind remembering that you still have something that matters. That's your heart recognizing that it's not all bad. Sometimes people say, "I'll be grateful when things get better." But that's not how growth works. You speak gratitude now. so that you're strong enough to face what's next. Gratitude is preparation. Gratitude is protection. Gratitude is power. You don't need a long list. You need one true sentence, spoken with intention, even in the middle of tears, even when you're not sure how things will turn out. I'm grateful for this moment to breathe. I'm grateful I haven't given up. I'm grateful for the food I had today. Every time you speak that truth, you bring more light into your thinking. That light helps you find your next step. That's how people begin to rebuild their peace. Don't keep it silent. Don't just nod your head. Speak it. Let your words ring out. That's how you start to believe again. That's how you begin to trust that you are not stuck, that you are not lost, that you are still capable of joy. And joy is not something that only visits you when life is perfect. Joy is something you create when you speak life into what's already here. The moment you speak gratitude, the pressure in your chest starts to lift. The noise in your mind begins to settle. You realize you don't have to fix everything to feel something good. You just need to notice what's already here and give it your voice. This is especially important on the hardest days. When your thoughts feel heavy, when your body feels tired, that's when you speak louder. That's when you stop the spiral, by anchoring your words in something you know is good. Gratitude is not denial. It doesn't ignore the pain. It just chooses not to give the pain all the power. It's easy to complain. It's easy to list what's wrong. That takes no effort. But gratitude takes awareness. It takes attention. And that makes it valuable. That makes it rare.
Yep.
But you can train yourself to do it. And the more you do it, the more it shapes who you are. You begin to see more clearly. You begin to feel more calm. You begin to trust that even in difficulty, you are not abandoned. Your voice becomes your tool, not just to express pain, but to claim strength. Start this practice today. Speak 3 things before you leave the house. Speak 1 thing before you sleep. Speak out loud when you catch your thoughts drifting into fear. Don't let the day pass without saying something that uplifts your spirit. This is how you take your power back. This is how you build your mental strength. You speak what you still have. You speak what is true. You speak what is good. And that voice becomes the foundation for a stronger you. Number 4. Remove people who feed your doubt and fear. One of the most important decisions you will ever make for your peace of mind, your confidence, your self-worth, and your personal growth is who you allow in your space. Not everyone who walks with you is good for you. Not everyone who smiles at you wants the best for you. Some people do not encourage your strength. They question it. Some do not support your goals. They cast shadows over them. If you want to stay strong when life is hard, you must be willing to take a hard look at who's standing around you and make changes when needed. There are people who don't build you. They break your spirit little by little with their words, their energy, their attitudes. They don't speak life into you. They cast doubt over everything you try to do. They don't tell you what's possible. They constantly remind you what could go wrong. These voices are not just harmless opinions. Over time, they start to shape the way you think. They begin to feed your inner fears. They start to affect your choices. And the longer you keep them close, the harder it becomes to hear your own voice. You must learn to protect your mental space with the same urgency you protect your home. If someone kept walking into your house and damaging it piece by piece, would you let them stay? Then why allow someone to do that to your mind? Doubt doesn't always come from inside. Sometimes it is planted by the words of others. If someone constantly tells you that you're not good enough, not ready, not smart enough, not strong enough, that message doesn't just go away. It sinks in. It lingers. It rewires the way you view yourself. And it's not just what people say. It's how they act when you're trying to grow. Do they support your effort? Or do they laugh at your progress? Do they motivate you when you're tired? Or do they highlight your failures when you slip? Pay attention. Words are only part of the story. Energy tells the truth. You can feel it when someone wants you to win. You can also feel it when someone is quietly hoping you stay stuck. It's not easy to distance yourself from people you've known for a long time. It's not easy to draw boundaries with family members or longtime friends. But hard decisions build strong lives. You are not required to keep relationships that hurt your growth.
You are allowed to choose peace. You are allowed to choose clarity. You are allowed to walk away from anything or anyone that feeds your fear more than your faith. Sometimes it's the most familiar people that carry the most toxic energy. The ones who speak like they're being realistic, but what they're really doing is projecting their own limits onto you. They don't want to see you rise because it forces them to face where they've stayed. They're not challenging you. They're containing you. That's not love. That's control. People who truly care for you won't be perfect, but they will believe in you. They will push you when you need it. They will speak to your strength, not your weakness. And if you want to stay mentally strong during hard times, you need people who make your mind sharper, not heavier. You need people who make your heart feel lighter, not burdened. You need people who remind you of who you are, not just who you used to be. Sometimes the fear you feel isn't even yours. It's borrowed. It came from someone else's story, someone else's failure, someone else's hesitation. But you don't have to carry it. You can return it. You can choose to build your story without their limits in the way. That's your right. That's your power. That's your responsibility. And when you remove these people, you'll feel it. The quiet, the stillness. At first it might feel lonely. That's normal. You've been used to the noise. You've been used to the opinions. You've been used to defending yourself. But give it time. That silence will become space. That space will become peace. And in that peace, your mind will begin to clear. Your confidence will start to rise. Your energy will return. People ask, but what if I hurt them? Ask this instead. What if I keep hurting myself by keeping them? This isn't about hate. This is about healing. This isn't about blame. This is about responsibility. Your life is your project. Your mind is your tool. If someone is damaging either, you must take action. With grace, with clarity, but with certainty. Removing people doesn't always mean a dramatic exit. Sometimes it's a shift, a quiet change in how much you engage, in how much access you give. You don't owe an explanation for choosing your peace. You don't owe guilt for choosing growth. This is your life. You don't need permission to protect it. Make room for those who fuel your courage. Surround yourself with voices that see your worth, especially when you forget it. Build relationships that help you feel stronger, not smaller. That speak hope into your hard days. That challenge you with love, not judgment. And if you don't have those people now, focus on becoming that person for yourself until they come. You have one life, and it moves fast. Spend it around those who help you rise, not those who push you down. Choose your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. The people you listen to most will shape your future. Make sure their words align with the future you want to build. Fear is natural, doubt is human. But when it's multiplied by those around you, it becomes heavy. Don't carry more than you need. Let go of the voices that keep you afraid. Keep the ones that keep you going. And remember, removing people who feed your doubt isn't cruel. It's clarity. It's leadership over your own life. It's you saying, I will not let anyone talk me out of who I'm becoming. That decision will change everything. That decision will bring you back to your power.
Number 5. Train your mind to find one good thing daily. The quality of your life is shaped more by the direction of your thoughts than the conditions of your circumstances. And one of the most powerful changes you can make when life feels overwhelming is to teach your mind to focus on one single good thing each day. One thing, not 10, not everything, just one. The power lies in that small but intentional shift. Because the mind, if left untrained, will go searching for what's missing, what's wrong, what's broken. But when you train it to look for what's good, even when everything feels heavy, you take control over your emotional state in a very real way. This is not about ignoring your problems. It's about reclaiming your focus. Your mind has a spotlight. It can't shine on everything at once. If you don't guide it, it will choose fear, disappointment, and frustration by default. But when you make a conscious effort to find something, anything that went well, that brought you a moment of peace or relief, you give yourself a lifeline in the middle of difficulty. There are days when things go wrong back to back. You lose something. Someone disappoints you. Your plans fall apart. It feels like the world is pressing down and nothing seems to work. But even then, there is one thing you can find if you really look. It might be the way someone smiled at you, the fact that you made it through the day, the cup of coffee that felt just right, or even the way the air felt when you stepped outside. The moment doesn't have to be big to be real. and the impact it makes on your state of mind is deeper than most people realize. Most people are good at spotting what's wrong, but that's not a skill, that's survival instinct. Growth comes when you can find what's right, even in the middle of what's difficult. When you start practicing this daily, your brain begins to change. You train it to search for solutions instead of staying stuck in problems. You teach it to recognize what's working rather than being consumed by what isn't. This one daily act builds emotional strength, and emotional strength is what keeps you going when circumstances try to wear you down. It's what helps you stay grounded when uncertainty surrounds you. You're not pretending everything is perfect. You're choosing not to give your entire attention to what's painful. That's not denial. That's strategy. You don't need a perfect life to feel a moment of relief. You don't need everything to fall into place to find one thing that reminds you, even briefly, that there's still something good here. This habit becomes a lifeline, a point of emotional stability, a reason to keep going, and with time the impact builds. This practice helps you separate yourself from your challenges. You are not the bad day. You are not the failure. You are not the loss. Those are events. They are not your identity. When you find that one good thing, you remind yourself that more than one thing can be true. Life can be hard, and you can still have a reason to smile. You can feel tired, and still find hope. You can be hurting, and still have something worth holding on to. This discipline also keeps your perspective in check. When your mind sees only problems, it starts to believe everything is falling apart. But when you make the effort to notice what's still going right, it brings balance. You regain the ability to see clearly. You stop exaggerating the bad. You start noticing that not everything is broken. There's something powerful about writing it down too. When you take a pen and write the one thing that made you feel okay today, it becomes real. It becomes something you can return to. On the days when it's hard to find anything, flip back and read what you wrote the day before or the day before that. It's proof that even in the middle of hard seasons, you've still had moments of light. And if today you can't think of anything, start even smaller. Did you breathe deeply? Did you show up even though you didn't feel like it? Did you get through a tough conversation? Did you feel a moment of quiet in your mind? That counts. That matters. There is no moment too small when the goal is survival with dignity and strength. This isn't about being blindly optimistic. This is about mental discipline. It's about creating a habit that helps you stay afloat when the weight of life tries to pull you under. Because your mind is always listening to what you focus on. Feed it encouragement. Train it to expect progress. Give it permission to recognize what's good. Over time, this builds a mental habit of resilience that makes you stronger in every area of your life. When you wake up tomorrow, tell yourself before the world gets loud, "Today I will find one good thing." You will be surprised at what that daily promise can do for your mood, your energy, your ability to stay present. The world outside may still be loud, but your inner world becomes clearer, calmer, steadier. When you do this enough, you'll begin to rewire the way you respond to adversity. You'll start facing problems without panic. You'll handle setbacks without breaking down. You'll navigate conflict without becoming consumed by it. That's what mental training gives you. Not immunity from life's hardships, but the clarity and confidence to keep moving through them. Even during your worst week, if you've built this practice, you'll still have something to hold on to. You'll still have a reason to believe that better moments are possible. And you'll begin to realize that you're not just surviving life, you're shaping it. You're choosing how to respond. You're choosing how to think. You're not waiting for everything to get better before you feel okay. You're deciding to find what's already okay right now. And that choice will do something inside you. It will strengthen your spirit. It will sharpen your thinking. It will create a quiet but undeniable sense of power. Because every time you find one good thing, you're reminding yourself that life hasn't taken everything from you. You still have something. And from that something you can build.
Number 6. Give your energy only to things you can change. There is a powerful truth that most people ignore for far too long. Your energy is limited, and where you place it will shape the quality of your life. Every person wakes up each day with a certain amount of mental, emotional, and physical energy. And if you spend that energy on things outside your control,
You weaken your ability to change the things that are actually in your hands. You become drained, not because life is too hard, but because you are trying to carry things you were never meant to carry. You can't control what other people think. You can't control what they say or how they act. You can't undo the past or rewrite history. You can't control the weather, the economy, or every outcome. But you can control how you respond. You can decide what you feed your attention. You can choose your habits. You can work on your attitude. And when you put your energy into those things, your life begins to change from the inside out. There's no peace in wasting your time arguing with reality. If something has already happened, it's done. It doesn't need more of your energy. What it needs is your response, what you will do from this moment forward. Some people spend years in their mind fighting situations that no longer exist, replaying events that can't be changed. They give away their energy to frustration, regret, and blame. But none of that makes them stronger. None of that prepares them for what's next. It only keeps them stuck in the same emotional loop, day after day. You grow when you shift your focus. When you take your energy away from what's outside your hands and place it on what you can influence, you start asking better questions. What can I do today? How can I improve my thinking? What steps can I take, no matter how small, to move forward? That's where strength is built. That's where progress begins. It takes discipline to stop fighting the things you can't control. Your mind might try to pull you back into old patterns, worrying about the future, obsessing over other people's choices, beating yourself up for mistakes you've already made. But you can train it. You can stop and say, this is not where I want my energy to go. And then you choose again. You bring your focus back to what's real, to what's yours, to what you can change. You can control how you treat people. You can control the words you speak. You can control whether you show up with discipline or give in to distraction. You can control how much time you give to growth, how much attention you give to fear, how you talk to yourself when no one else is around. These are not small things. These are the things that shape your entire life. The strongest people aren't those with perfect lives. They're the ones who've learned to focus only on what's theirs to manage. They've learned to stop trying to fix everything and everyone. They've learned to stop giving their peace away to things that will never change, no matter how much they obsess. And because they've made that decision, they move lighter. They stay clearer. They rise faster. It's not weakness to let go of what you can't change. It's wisdom. You're not giving up. You're choosing to protect your energy. You're deciding that your peace, your progress, and your purpose are more valuable than wasting hours thinking about things that will never move. Every moment you waste on what's outside your power is a moment you could have used to build something better. That's a high price to pay for holding on to things that don't serve you. If you want to feel more calm, more focused, more in control, this is the habit to build. Every day, take a moment to ask yourself, where is my energy going? If it's going to resentment, fear, control, or trying to change someone who won't change themselves, pull it back. Remind yourself that your time is too short and your energy too valuable to waste it that way. Start investing it into growth. Spend your energy on improving your skills, deepening your patience, building your character. Use it to listen better, learn faster, and love deeper. That's where your power lives. You can't change the storm, but you can build the shelter. You can't erase what's been done, but you can decide how the story moves forward from here. If someone treats you unfairly, you don't have to carry that pain forever. You acknowledge it, learn from it, then redirect your energy to healing and rebuilding. If something goes wrong, you don't have to dwell in it. You assess, adjust, and move. This is not emotional avoidance. This is emotional mastery. You're learning that not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion needs to be fed. You're choosing to put your energy only where it can make a difference. This shift makes you powerful in quiet ways. You stop reacting to everything. You stop being pulled in 10 directions. You start showing up with intention. And you realize that peace is not something you find. It's something you protect. You protect it by choosing where your energy goes, by being selective about what you engage in, by refusing to give your mind away to things that steal your strength. Over time, you begin to see results. You notice your mood improving. You feel more steady, more grounded.
Your mind is not racing with every new problem that arises. Your body is not always tense with stress over things beyond your reach. And you realize that you have more energy than you thought. You were just spending it in the wrong places. You get to choose how you use the hours you have. You can spend them complaining or creating. You can spend them stressing or solving. You can spend them reacting or responding. And the difference between those choices is the difference between a life that feels out of control and a life that feels deeply rooted. This decision to give your energy only to what you can change is one of the most freeing choices you will ever make. It is not about being passive. It is about being precise. You are not ignoring your problems. You are focusing your power. You are cutting away the noise, the distraction, the pressure to fix what was never yours to fix. You are returning your focus to what you can build, improve, grow, and become. When that becomes your practice, everything changes. Your energy becomes clean. Your actions become clearer. Your days become more meaningful. And your life, step by step, becomes more aligned with who you truly want to be.
Number 7. Build strength by doing one hard thing each day. Most people wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect time when things feel easy, when the road seems smooth. But that kind of moment rarely shows up. If you want to grow stronger, mentally, emotionally, and physically, you don't wait, you act. You show up. You do the hard thing even when it's uncomfortable, even when you feel resistance, even when no one is watching. Because real strength doesn't come from doing what's easy. It comes from doing what's difficult on purpose. Each day gives you a chance to face something that challenges you, and every time you step into that challenge, even for a few minutes, you're teaching your mind that you are in charge. You're showing yourself that you don't need to run from struggle. You can handle it. That decision, made daily, builds confidence like nothing else. You don't need to start with massive goals. Start with one hard thing, just one. It might be having that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. It might be waking up an hour earlier to work on your goals. It might be skipping distractions and sitting in silence to think clearly. It might be taking that first step toward changing a habit that's been holding you back. The size of the action doesn't matter. The effort does, the courage does. The hard things are different for everyone. For one person, it might be speaking up in a meeting. For another, it could be choosing to forgive someone who caused pain. It could be resisting the urge to give up halfway through a task. It could be setting boundaries or saying no. But whatever your hard thing is today, face it with intention. Don't shrink from it. Don't make excuses. Do it because it's uncomfortable. Do it because it's unfamiliar. That's where growth lives. There is something powerful about discipline. When you force yourself to do the uncomfortable thing instead of the easy thing, you're building something inside of you that cannot be seen in a mirror. You're creating emotional muscle. You're proving to yourself that you can do what you said you would do, not just when it's convenient, but when it's tough. And that consistency over time changes how you walk, how you think, and how you respond to life. One of the biggest lies people believe is that they need to feel strong before they take action. The truth is, action builds strength. You don't wait for the feeling. You earn it. You get stronger by showing up when you don't feel like it. By finishing what you started even when your mind is full of reasons to stop. By keeping your word to yourself even when no one else would know if you backed out. Every hard thing you face is an opportunity to grow. It's a test of your character, a test of your will, and with every test you pass, you get a little more sure of who you are. You start to trust yourself. You start to walk differently. Not with arrogance, but with quiet certainty. You know that no matter what comes, you'll face it. You won't hide from it. You'll meet it head on. Because that's what you've trained for. You won't build strength by taking the easy path. You build it by choosing the hill, the weight, the hard task. You build it by waking up and deciding that today is not just another day to survive. It's a day to grow, a day to stretch, a day to prove to yourself that you won't let comfort steal your potential. And the truth is, every time you do something hard, something you once thought was impossible becomes possible. You expand your limits. You expand your mind. What once felt like a wall becomes just another step.
You look back after weeks or months of this and you realize you've become someone different. You've become someone tougher, more focused, more disciplined. Not because the world got easier, but because you got stronger. You don't need to conquer everything at once. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to do one hard thing today. Just one. Then do it again tomorrow. And the next day, stack those days. Stack those decisions. That's how strength is built. Not in grand gestures, but in daily effort. Quiet, determined effort. You might not see the result immediately. That's okay. Keep doing it. Keep showing up. Strength doesn't shout. It grows in the silence, in the grind, in the small wins no one else sees. It grows in those moments when you choose the hard path over the easy escape. When you silence the excuses and move forward anyway. Doing the hard thing doesn't mean being reckless. It means being intentional. It means recognizing where you're avoiding discomfort and walking straight into it. It means setting a standard for yourself and refusing to lower it just because it's easier that way. It means becoming someone who finishes what they start, who doesn't run from struggle but uses it as fuel. There is a kind of strength you gain from doing hard things that no book or video can give you. It's the kind that comes from experience, from sweat, from effort, from sacrifice. It's a strength you earn, and once you've earned it, no one can take it from you. If you want to feel powerful in your own skin, if you want to be the kind of person who doesn't break when life gets difficult, this is the path. One hard thing a day, over and over. It may not be glamorous, it may not be flashy, but it's real, and it works. The reward is not just in the results, it's in who you become. You become someone who keeps going when others quit. Someone who pushes through the fear, instead of being controlled by it. Someone who values growth more than comfort. That kind of person lives a different life. They carry themselves differently. They carry themselves differently. They face the world with more calm, more focus, more resilience. This is the quiet habit that separates those who rise from those who stay stuck. This is how you move forward when life feels heavy. This is how you stay positive when circumstances are hard, not by pretending things are easy, but by proving to yourself one day at a time that you can do what's hard, that you can stretch, that you can grow, and that you don't need the world to change in order to get stronger. You just need to do one hard thing today.
Number 8. Lift others who struggle and lift yourself with them. When you see someone struggling, don't turn away. Reach out. Lifting others doesn't just help them, it lifts you as well. There's a power in giving that is often underestimated. People who truly help others, especially when they don't expect anything in return, discover something about themselves in the process. They realize that true fulfillment doesn't come from accumulating things for yourself, but from sharing your strength with others. It's easy to get caught up in your own challenges. It's easy to focus on your problems and feel overwhelmed by your own struggles. But life is not just about you. It's about the connections you make and the people you impact along the way. When you help others, when you extend your hand to someone who's fallen, you not only make their load lighter, but yours becomes lighter too. You stop focusing on your own difficulties and begin to see the bigger picture. Think about a time when someone helped you when you were at your lowest. Maybe it was just a kind word, a gesture of support, or someone simply listening to you. That moment likely gave you the strength to keep going. Now imagine how much more powerful that act of kindness could be if you were the one giving it. The truth is, helping others doesn't take away from your own journey. It adds to it. It strengthens your character. It gives you a purpose beyond yourself. Sometimes all someone needs is to know that they're not alone. People don't always need solutions. They need compassion, encouragement, and belief that they can make it through. When you lift others who struggle, you also remind them that they are capable. You become a source of strength, not just for yourself, but for others too. You become the kind of person who makes the world better, one small act of kindness at a time. Lifting others is not always easy. There will be times when you feel like you don't have enough to give. But the truth is, you always have something to offer. You have your time, your attention, your energy. You have your ability to listen.
You have your experiences, your lessons, and your perspective. These things are valuable. They may seem small in the moment, but they matter. Your words can be the encouragement someone needs to take the next step. Your actions can remind someone that they are seen and valued. And when you help others, you see life differently. You begin to understand that everyone faces battles. Sometimes battles that others can't even see. But you also begin to see the resilience in people, the strength that rises even in the hardest times. When you extend your hand, you not only lift them, but you also begin to see the power of human connection. You see that even in the struggle, there is strength, and that strength is contagious. Every time you help someone, you learn more about yourself. You learn about your ability to empathize, to connect, to inspire. You learn that strength isn't about how much you can carry on your own, but how much you can help others carry. You realize that your success is not measured by how much you achieve alone, but by how many others you can help rise with you. Helping others doesn't mean you have to have all the answers. It doesn't mean you have to fix their problems. Sometimes it means just being there. It means offering support, guidance, or even just your presence. Often what people need most is someone who believes in them, even when they don't believe in themselves. And when you become that person for someone else, you unlock a new level of strength within yourself. The more you lift others, the more your own burdens feel lighter. You stop focusing on what you don't have, and you start appreciating what you can give. When you give to others, you receive in return, not in material things, but in the joy of knowing you made a difference. That joy builds your resilience, fortifies your spirit, and gives you the strength to face whatever challenges come your way. Helping others is not just about giving, it's about creating a community of support and encouragement. It's about making a choice to show up for others, especially when they're at their lowest. When you make that choice, you create a ripple effect. One act of kindness can inspire another. One person's strength can spark a movement of support that goes far beyond what you can see. Think of all the people in your life who've been there for you in times of struggle. Now think about how much their support meant. Think about how much it lifted you, gave you hope, and kept you going. That same impact is available to you when you choose to lift others. And the beauty of it is, the more you give, the more you grow. The more you help, the more you strengthen your own character. The more you support others, the more you realize your own potential. The act of lifting others is not only a gift to them, it's a gift to yourself. When you help others, you step into a higher version of yourself. You stop seeing challenges as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities to serve, to grow, and to lead. You stop seeing the world as something to take from and start seeing it as something to contribute to. And that shift changes everything. It shifts your perspective. It shifts your mindset. And most importantly, it shifts your life. There's a simple but profound truth. The more you lift others, the more you lift yourself. When you help someone else rise from the ashes, you become a part of their story of strength. You become a source of hope. And by doing that, you also create hope within yourself. The strength you share with others comes back to you in ways you can't always predict. It builds your own resilience, your own inner power, and your own sense of purpose. So don't wait for the perfect moment to give. Don't wait for the world to be perfect before you make a difference. Lift someone today. It could be the most powerful thing you do, not just for them but for yourself as well. The world needs people who are willing to lift others up, especially in their hardest moments. And the best part is, when you do that, you'll find that you are lifted with them.
Number 9. Repeat powerful words that remind you of your worth. There are moments in life when it feels like the world is telling you that you're not enough. The pressure of failure, rejection, and even self-doubt can pile up, convincing you that you don't have what it takes. But let me tell you something crucial. Your worth is never determined by the challenges you face or the setbacks you experience. Your worth is inherent. It's built into you from the start. And one of the most powerful things you can do in those moments of doubt is to remind yourself of that truth. You are worthy of success. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of happiness. These words may sound simple, but they carry a power that can shift the course of your life. When you repeat them, you're not just speaking to the air. You are speaking to your soul. You are giving yourself permission to believe in your own potential. You are reaffirming the greatness that lies within you, even when it's hard to see. Every day we are surrounded by messages that try to make us feel small. The comparisons to others, the judgments, the negativity in the world. It's easy to let those voices drown out the truth. But you have the power to rise above them. You have the power to drown out those voices by replacing them with words that lift you up, words that remind you of who you truly are. What you say to yourself matters. It shapes how you view the world and how you move through it. When you say words like I am worthy, I am strong, I am capable, you start to believe them. And when you believe them, you act on them. You carry yourself differently. You approach your challenges with confidence. You stop letting fear hold you back, because you know deep down you are equipped to handle anything that comes your way. When you repeat powerful words about your worth, you are not only affirming your value, but you are also building your resilience. You are teaching yourself to face life's difficulties with a sense of purpose and determination. You are reminding yourself that no matter how many times you fall, you are still worthy of standing up again. Every setback is an opportunity to grow. Every failure is a lesson that strengthens you. The key here is consistency. It's not enough to say these words just once or twice. You have to say them every day. You have to make them a part of your routine. Just like you wouldn't skip breakfast or your morning coffee, don't skip your daily affirmation. These words have the power to transform your mindset, but only if you make them a habit. When you wake up in the morning before your feet even hit the floor, speak those powerful words. Look in the mirror and say, I am worthy. Say it like you mean it. Feel the strength behind those words. Say, I am enough. I am capable. I am deserving of all the good things coming my way. Let those words set the tone for your day. Let them remind you of your potential and all the possibilities that lie ahead. It's easy to get caught up in the negative self-talk that creeps in when things don't go as planned. We all have those moments when we feel like we've failed or when we feel like we're not doing enough. But in those moments, take a step back, take a deep breath, and repeat those words again. I am worthy. I am strong. I am resilient. Remind yourself that your worth is not tied to your performance or your mistakes. It's tied to who you are as a person, to your heart, your character, your will to keep going, even when things are tough. The beauty of repeating these words is that they begin to shape how you see yourself. They begin to replace the negative narratives you've been telling yourself for so long. They start to drown out the doubts and fears that have held you back. And over time, you'll start to notice a shift in how you approach life. You'll stop questioning your abilities. You'll stop doubting your worth. You'll start to show up for yourself with confidence, knowing that you have everything you need to succeed. You may not see the results of this practice immediately, but over time it will become second nature. It will become a part of who you are. It will become your foundation. And when life gets tough, and it will, these words will be the anchor that keeps you grounded. They will remind you that no matter what happens, you are still worthy, you are still enough, and you are still capable of overcoming any challenge. The power of these words extends beyond just you. When you repeat them, you not only lift yourself, but you also lift others. People around you notice your confidence, your belief in yourself, and they are inspired by it. When you walk into a room with the knowledge that you are worthy, it's contagious. It spreads. And before you know it, you'll be lifting others with the very same words that lifted you. It's important to understand that your worth is not something that can be given or taken away by others. No one can define your value except you. The opinions of others don't determine who you are. You determine that. When you start speaking words of affirmation over your life, you take back control. You stop letting the opinions of others dictate how you feel about yourself. You stop allowing external circumstances to affect your internal sense of worth. You take your power back. Words are powerful. They have the ability to shape our reality. And when you repeat words that affirm your worth, you're shaping a reality where you believe in yourself, where you trust your abilities, and where you know that you are deserving of success and happiness. You're creating a mindset that will carry you through the toughest of times. You're building the mental and emotional strength to face life's challenges head-on, knowing that you are more than capable of handling them. The road to believing in your worth is a journey. It's not something that happens overnight, but with consistency and intention, those words will begin to sink in. They will become the foundation on which you build your confidence and your self-esteem. And one day you'll look back and realize that those words repeated over and over again were the key to unlocking the strength, resilience, and success that you now carry with you every day. So start today. Repeat the words that remind you of your worth. Let them guide you, strengthen you,
and empower you to be the best version of yourself, because you are worthy. You are enough. You are capable of achieving everything you set your mind to. And when you remind yourself of this every day, nothing can stop you.
Number 10. Push forward, even when your heart feels too heavy. There are times when the weight of the world seems unbearable. The struggles pile up, and your heart feels like it's carrying more than it can handle. It feels as though the very energy you need to take one more step is gone, as if each breath becomes a battle. You may wonder how much longer you can keep going. And in those moments, everything inside of you may scream for rest, for relief. But in these moments, the decision to push forward is the most powerful choice you can make. Pushing forward when your heart feels too heavy doesn't mean pretending the pain doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that you deny the exhaustion or the sorrow. It simply means that despite the pain, despite the fatigue, you choose to keep moving forward. You choose to take another step, even if it's a small one. You choose to carry on, even when it seems like every part of you is telling you to stop. There's something incredibly powerful about deciding that no matter how difficult it gets, you will not give up. You will not allow your circumstances to define you. You will not let the weight of your emotions control your future. You are stronger than the pain, stronger than the obstacles in front of you. And it's in those moments of overwhelming hardship that you discover just how much strength you truly have. Your mind may try to convince you that the journey is too hard, that the task is too great, that you are too tired to keep going. But here's the thing. You have already overcome so much. You've faced challenges before and made it through to the other side. Each time you pushed through, you grew. Each time you faced adversity and decided to keep moving, you proved to yourself that you are capable of handling far more than you think. Your past is full of proof that you can endure, that you can keep going even when the odds seem stacked against you. When your heart feels heavy, it's natural to want to stop, to take a break, to step away from the pain. But you don't have to carry that weight forever. Pushing forward doesn't mean carrying everything on your own. It doesn't mean that you have to be superhuman. It means that even when you're at your lowest point, when your energy feels depleted, you still take one more step. You still decide to rise again, no matter how hard it feels. And in doing so, you show yourself what resilience truly looks like. Sometimes the hardest thing in the world is to push forward when you feel like you've already given everything you have. But understand that there is always more within you. You may not see it in the moment, but each time you continue on, you build strength. Every small victory, every small step forward, builds a foundation for the future. And soon the burden you carry will feel lighter because you chose not to give up when it was hardest. There's a reason why pushing forward when your heart feels too heavy is so transformative. When you're going through difficult times, you might feel like you're stuck in a pit with no way out. But every time you take one more step, you break free from that pit just a little bit. You reclaim your power. And the more you push forward, the more you start to see that you're not trapped in your circumstances. You have the power to move beyond them. Remember, pushing forward doesn't mean that you're not allowed to feel the weight of your heart. It's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to feel like the world is too much sometimes. These feelings are normal. What matters is what you choose to do with them. When you choose to keep moving despite feeling weighed down, you are choosing growth. You are choosing to become stronger, more capable, and more resilient with each step. It's also important to recognize that sometimes pushing forward doesn't mean doing everything at once. It doesn't mean running full speed into the storm. Sometimes it means taking a small action like reaching out for help, or simply breathing deeply and focusing on the next step. However small it may seem, it's not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about finding the courage to keep moving, even when it's hard to see the path ahead. When you decide to push forward, even when your heart feels heavy, you also have to be kind to yourself. You can't expect yourself to be perfect, and you can't expect to always have everything figured out. The journey isn't linear. It's messy. Some days you'll feel stronger. Some days you'll feel like you've taken 10 steps backward. But none of that matters. What matters is that you keep going. Every single day that you show up, even in the face of difficulty, you are building the mental and emotional muscle needed to handle whatever life throws your way. In those moments of despair, remember why you started. Remember what you are fighting for. Even when it feels like you're walking through darkness,
Trust that there is light ahead, and the more steps you take, the closer you get to that light. When you push forward, you're not just moving through the pain. You're moving toward the future you deserve. You're moving toward a life where you are stronger, wiser, and more at peace with yourself. Pushing forward also means acknowledging that sometimes the journey is not about achieving something immediately. It's about surviving. It's about making it through. The process of moving forward, even when you don't see results right away, is just as important as the destination. In fact, the lessons you learn during the hard times will be the ones that serve you for the rest of your life. Every time you decide to keep going, even when it feels impossible, you are growing in ways you can't always measure. You may not know what's waiting for you around the corner. You may not know how long the road ahead will be, or how many obstacles you will face. But one thing is certain: if you keep pushing forward, you will get through it. The challenges you face now will eventually become a part of your story, and when you look back, you will see how far you've come. You will see the strength that was always inside you, even when you didn't believe it was there. Keep going. Keep pushing forward, no matter how heavy your heart feels, because the person you are becoming, the strength you are building, is worth it. You are worth it.